I start black but turn brown. I put a smile in place of a frown. I lift you up when you feel down. I can be tall, I can be short, I can be weak, I can be strong. Please take me with you wherever you go along. Hot or cold, sweet or bold. Without me, you will feel twice as old. What am I?
Rocking Mama to Real Mama, Mamta B.
I start black but turn brown. I put a smile in place of a frown. I lift you up when you feel down. I can be tall, I can be short, I can be weak, I can be strong. Please take me with you wherever you go along. Hot or cold, sweet or bold. Without me, you will feel twice as old. What am I? I start with a C and end with an E. Let me just spill out the beans for you. Right you are. Cafe, coffee, kopi, cafe, and coffee. This addictive liquid gold that helps kickstart my day every morning. It is the love of my life. What about you? What is your morning addiction? I'm talking about warm beverages here. Do you go for tea? Do you go for coffee? Do you go for just plain water? Yes, for sure in Nepal, tea is the most popular of warm beverages as it is literally steeped into our culture, into a tradition, and yeah, you will get served a cup of tea wherever you go in any household at almost any time of the day. But coffee is not far behind. I mean, you just have to look around you at all the corners, at the chowks, at the main roads, at the busy areas, and literally all the coffee shops that have been popping up in the recent past 4 or 5 years, serving you a great variety of coffee drinks. It's like there's 10, 15 of them in the menu, and can get quite difficult to select which one you'd like to drink. I think that's where coffee has a little bit of an edge over tea because it's so much more versatile. Coffee was discovered in Nepal in 1938. It's way later than its first discovery way back in the 9th century. And this was in ancient Ethiopia. There was a herder by the name of Kaldi who was out grazing his goats in the fields. After a while, he noticed that a few of his goats were headed to another corner of the field where there was a bush that was, growing these red berries. What he also noticed was the goats were munching on these berries, and then they started acting very hyperactive. They were jumping all around. They were just running to and fro, which was just like as though they had been injected with some kind of energy drink or something. And sort of having a rave party out there. So he walked over and he picked a few of these berries. He chewed on them. And guess what? He too felt this amazing, amazing surge of energy flow right through him. There is a famous saying about curiosity. That curiosity overcomes fear, sometimes even more than bravery will. And, well, thanks to the herder and his curiosity, coffee was discovered. In Nepal, similarly, we had a sannyasi by the name of Hiragiri, who brought over beans from Myanmar way back in 1939. He took it to his village in Gulmi and he planted them in the surrounding areas, in the hilly areas. And that drew the curiosity of a lot of farmers. They were amazed at these little berries that were growing there. They all wanted to grow them initially just out of curiosity. But sooner or later, they discovered that this was so much more than just red berries. And in the 90s, they started growing it for consumption because it became really popular. and it is now one of the major cash crops. Arabica coffee is grown in over 40 districts in Nepal right now. That's why when you go to the supermarket, you see this variety of coffee there in the coffee section. They come from all different parts of Nepal. They taste a little bit different. All in all, we have so much more of a choice now, adding to the popularity of this drink. I was in love with coffee way before I even tasted the drink. When I was a little girl in the boarding school, every morning there was this aroma of this fresh brew floating around the airwaves as we were busy doing our morning chores. I would look into the kitchen and I would see our house parent, our Scottish house parent, Auntie Jean Burns, brew her first morning cup of coffee and sit down at the table. She'd be reading a book or reading a letter, doing a crossword puzzle, and savoring this cup of coffee. And, just the aroma floating around the airwaves, I just knew that whatever she was drinking has to taste good. Nothing can have that amazing aroma and taste bad. I also now realize why she was taking that magic potion every morning, that stiff dose of caffeine. She had to deal with almost 30 plus unruly girls like us for the rest of the day. And she needed something. She needed this power drink early in the morning to take care of the situation, to prepare her for the day ahead. And today I find myself reaching out for the same reasons. Well, in this case, I just only have to try and manage myself. That is all. Now, talk about preparing coffee. I love the process I follow every morning. It's like a meditation. It's like a routine where I reach out for this very old, reliable mocha pot that I've been using for many, many years now. It's simple. It's so easy. There's no complications. And best thing about it is it's so very easy to clean. It doesn't take up much space either. No electricity needed. And comes in 3 different parts. There's a part that holds the water. There's the part that holds the coffee grind. And the top part that collects the delicious brew. In a matter of minutes, there's this amazing, delicious cup of coffee that you have. The taste is something between an Americano and a long black. As I sip my morning coffee, I feel all of my senses start to awaken. I feel so alive. I finally start noticing all the beauty around me, the beauty of just being alive. I start planning my day ahead. Everything starts falling into place only after I've had my cup of magic potion. I then start preparing for the day and look forward to it. All of this possible thanks to the humble yet mighty coffee bee.
Hits FM 91.2.